Oh my goodness. Hey guys, it's 007, and today, I don't know if you've heard the news, but 2and900 passed away. At least that's what I've heard. And being that his brother going forward and saying that he confirms his death is, truly a strike, in my opinion, against, I don't know, it just, what a devastating hit. I mean, I can't imagine the family, but I mean, the community that has been a part of his whole adventure, and hearing him, provide updates and insight, all the things that he basically went forward with. It's incredibly tough, hearing this. I got back from a long work week, or long work day, I should say. Come in and basically, have all these notifications, like, check my Discord, and, I hear this whole story, and it's like, God, I go watch his last video that he put up, and it's just, oh, dude, so much, you could feel the void that he was standing in. Incredibly tough. So, my thoughts were definitely out to his family. It's incredibly tough. Honestly, in this video, I want to talk about a lot of the stuff that he is and what he is to me with regards to what he did in the community. And definitely going forward with the reality a lot of these content creators probably feel and deal with. Honestly, the work that he put in, I talk about a lot of creators that have gone forward and done stuff. And he was a big deal to me because he was always one of those frontier individuals who was looking at what was coming up ahead of the patch. He was one of those people that were hyped to find out what was coming out next patch. Because, we were all, all in the same boat, excited to see what was coming next, ready to see it, planning ahead of the future, and just to have, an instance like this where he took his own life just because the way things weren't going so well on YouTube, and then going forward into his life, the way things just folded and dominoed into each other. It really makes you think going forward. But like I said, we'll talk about that later. Just he really was an individual who tried to help. I don't know, he really helped extend the hype of what this game was going into each patch. I can't think of another individual who was more part of the hype. Like, looking at sources, possibly what's coming next patch. No offense to any of the YouTubers that, are a part of that whole means, but when it came to that kind of stuff, he was the biggest. People just, would come and see his video. It's like, what's the deep down secret that's coming out next patch? What's coming? And he'd lay it on you, what was going on and everything. Sure, he wasn't right all the time, but, in the business of speculation, seldom do you, get everything right beyond having numerous double checks that confirmed what you were seeing, what everyone else was seeing was going to happen. But there were so many things that he was. I seldomly use this phrase when defining members. I define European Canadian as this, and sure you can define Fly Daily as it as well, although nowadays it's hard for me to say that. But there are community members out here where I'll say they're cornerstone members. They are individuals that when you think of the game, you can't think of anyone else except these individuals. And honestly, 2and900 had become a cornerstone when it came to War Thunder. When it it was a matter of, oh, you know, they're streaming the next patch, or there's an update coming up. There were only so many members you could think of, like 4 or 5 individuals you could think of, that were going to put videos up talking about the next patch or what was going on in a trailer. And he was one of them. And to think that, you know, this individual is no longer walking, breathing on, you know, the same planet as we are, it's just tough. And we really only saw the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg, when it came to his life. And I know I'm not really the individual to speak on his behalf. Frankly, I'm never going to stand on that perspective or soapbox that I knew him. Because frankly, I never met him. You know, I maybe hashed out a couple comments with him in the past, you know, talking about certain content and the video and talking about how well he was doing with regards to that stuff. And just to hear, you know, the stuff like this just go forward is just tough. I couldn't imagine it, you know. If you had told me yesterday that this was going to happen, I would have told you were a fool. You know, there's no reason why that, but just to show you how much of a tip of the iceberg, you know, you see with regards to the YouTube community, and frankly a lot of assets throughout, probably not even just social media and genres like YouTube, but in real life. You know, you only see maybe 10-15 minutes of someone a day, at most a day, maybe even a week. But to know that sheer iceberg below was welling up to just fall apart, it's so hard to tell, especially in that line of work. I think it honestly speaks a lot to, I can't say it's really Guidance fault. I mean, their content is their content as far as it goes. I honestly feel like there's more blame to be on YouTube than anything else. They've always been changing their models, and I mean, I think even the Mighty Jingles, Mighty Jingles talked about it, I think a couple of years ago, where there was a whole thing, I forget what year it was, I think it was like 2011, 2012, and they said, you know, what did people want to be when they grew up? And for the first time ever, there was like a majority of people that said they wanted to be a content creator on YouTube. They wanted to be a channel celebrity on YouTube. And like after that, it strongly started decaying, the idea that you could build your life around work on YouTube. And it was just not going to be profitable under their criteria. They were gonna, I can't even speak for it. I don't personally do it, but you know, they were going to put their hand in the pot and collect. And I know, sure, he ran stuff like Patreon and stuff like that, but it just, oh my god, I just can't believe it. I honestly hope that this brings out awareness for individuals, especially with regards to suicide. Like I said, I don't know the details of his life, and I'm not going to go into this acting like I do, but I'll definitely talk about the fact that, and the reality that I don't know. I know people have said it was, I don't know if it was financial, but I definitely know it was real life instances that had trickled out of his work as a content creator that had resulted in what it was. So let this be a lesson to everyone, you know, for the sake of those that are in the shoes of thinking about going out like what he did. There's people that care about you. You know, you have to keep moving forward. You have to, you know, stick it out. You need to find something to hang on to. And life is not over just because of one instance. There is always an opportunity to start over. You know, there was a wall I think I drove by in my local city, and I forget, it was like the pain of what you are going through does not stop when you go. It is simply handed off to those around you, for them to carry on. It's a transfer of stress. So for those that, think about it, yeah, don't even push that on others. And for those that, know individuals that are going around, dealing with this, you got to be a pillar in their lives. Just digging a little bit into their life, understanding what they're going through, just extending that 15 minutes to 30 minutes might be what it takes to keep them going. Honestly. Nothing, is on the stake of money in regards to that. I mean, he had to be so young when he passed. I don't know what his age was, but oh my goodness. And, frankly, when it comes to the work on this channel, it is nothing I try to make product-wise with regards to profits. I purely look at YouTube nowadays as a hobby for me to extend. Like I said, I think I've mentioned it in previous videos, to extend, forum posts and my opinions and my suggestions and tips, my insight. I try to transfer that to individuals to try and help empower them going forward into the game. I try my best. Frankly, I know it's not great work, but I do my best. And I know if this doesn't work out, so be it. I will still live tomorrow. I will go forward, with my education in mechanical engineering. I'll continue forward trying to be a better individual in a different line of work. I always keep those roads keep those roads open when it comes to this kind of stuff. And for it to happen is just, frankly, it's just devastating. It's hard to think about this game without thinking of him. It's deeply sad. But like I said, it definitely opens the door to a lot of questions. Like I said, with regards to what Gaijin was doing and how they were handling the situation, and how YouTube went forward about the circumstances. I mean, he's about 15,000 subscribers. What do you say to that? Like, as YouTube, as a service organizer, like, what do you say as them for an individual that you've basically created a marketing direction? You've doubled advertising, yet you've cut back the income of the individuals, who, are trying to gain something from the revenue. What do you say to Peter after you've robbed him, is what I'm saying. I just don't understand, stuff like that. And like I said, I'm not going to act like I know the situation, because frankly, I'll admit, my knowledge is incredibly minuscule. Like I said, I've never done advertising within War Thunder or YouTube. I do a little bit of Twitch. I do some YouTube. Like I said, I try and help other people. And it's just so difficult for me to imagine the situation. It's just devastating. But that's what I'll leave it at. I don't know if there's any more I think I can repeat with regards to that. I'm just sounding like a broken record at this point. I honestly just hope that the circumstances born out of the whole situation can be just put to rest. That we can hopefully advance the banner that he came forward with. There's definitely going to be individuals that need to come forward to stand where he previously stood and try and help maintain that cornerstone in the community, because it was a big spot. It's going to takes some big feet to fill his big shoes. And that's all we can hope for. I personally don't think I'm qualified to do what he did. He had so many individuals supporting his work. It's just really sad to be a part of the group that heard the whole circumstance and the aftermath of it all. May we live past it and, as I said before, carry on his banner. But that's all I have to say, guys. Thanks for making it this far, and hopefully you can extend some form of condolences to the brother, and hopefully help that manage to get to the family. It's just devastating. It really is. I wish you the best, and I hope everyone stays strong, following this. Take care.